again. So today I'm going to be doing part 5 of the series on reviewing for Earth Science for Global History finals. So yeah, Germanic kingdoms. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Germanic tribes established many kingdoms throughout Europe. So the Merovingian Franks. Franks controlled the largest area of land centered in the former Roman province of Gaul. They were first ruled by Merowig. Clovis became king and was the first Germanic ruler to convert to Christianity. This gave credibility to the papacy. The mayor of the palace was a bureaucratic title. Carolingian dynasty. Charles Martel the Hammer defeated Muslims at the Battle of Tours in 732. This preserved Christianity in Europe and stopped the spread of Islam in Europe. Pepin the Short was called king by the grace of God by the Pope after Pepin rescued him from Lombard attacks. This gave Pepin a greater legitimacy and it set a standard that the Pope had a role in government. Charlemagne he created a Christian empire in Europe. So Charlemagne's empire. The Franks dominated most of Central Europe. Most of Western Europe was united for the first time since Rome. Government officials were called missi dominici. Local officials were called counts. Charlemagne, he rescued the Pope Leo III from a mob of rioting Roman lords. The Pope crowned him Holy Roman Emperor. This confirmed that the Pope could select the emperor and that the right to rule descended from God, and it combined Germanic power, the Church, and the legacy of the Roman Empire. Charlemagne, he promoted education, and he had monasteries, open schools. So the end of the Carolingians. Louis the Pious, who was his son, dies. There is a civil war between Charlemagne's grandsons over succession. The competitors were Louis the German, Charles the Bald, and Lothair. The Treaty of Verdun divided the empire. So next, there's barbarian invasions. Europe was experiencing a new wave of invasions from Vikings, Magyars, and Muslims. The power struggle of the only central government made them vulnerable to attacks. People started to go to their local lords for protection from invasion, and feudalism emerged. So feudalism is an economic, political, and social system which created strong local governments and strict social classes. It was based on the feudal contract with a manorial economy. The feudal contract is an unwritten agreement between a lord and his vassal, which governs their which says their obligations to each other. A fief is a estate given to a vassal. It varied in size and it included all the people on it. The lord owed protection of justice to the vassals. The vassal owed an annual or also special events fees and military service to the lord. They owed protection of justice to the serfs. The serfs owed labor and rent in kind and special event fees. The king could not collect taxes or enforce laws outside of his manor. Chivalry was the code of conduct for nobles. Manorialism is an economic system which uses where you basically grow what you need to survive. It included a village, farmland, and a noble's castle, and it was self-sufficient. The serfs worked the land in return for protection. So the spread of Christianity. Monasteries provided schools, preserved ancient classic texts. They were missionaries. Christianity was spread by monks who were sent to England and northern Germany by Pope Gregory I. So monastic orders. Benedict, also called Monte Cassino, opened monasteries that required a strict, pious life. Some monastic orders are Cluny, St. Francis of Assisi, and Saint Dominic. there's Cluny, St. Francis of Assisi, and St. Dominic. So the social influence of the church. The church had a list of rules to control people. Yeah, I was kind of cynical when I wrote this. They said that so people did what the church said in order to get salvation, which is and also to get out of eternal suffering. Heresy is challenging the church. Someone who commits heresy is a heretic. Sacraments are things that a Christian must do to go to heaven. Excommunication is to be banned from receiving the sacraments. Interdicts is when you ban everyone in an entire region from receiving the sacraments. Inquisition is a trial to seek out heretics. The church influenced social functions. So economic influence. The church was the largest landowner in Europe. The church collected tithes, which meant that they were the wealthiest organization as well. So the political influence. The church had its own legal and financial departments to collect tithes and solve disputes. The departments were cura, college of cardinals, Lateran councils, and legates. Rulers Rulers feared excommunication, so they did what the church said because it nullified all feudal obligations. Most high church officials were lords who could enforce their own decisions. The church banned fighting on certain days. Lay investiture, which is when nobles or kings, rulers make appointments to the church. Pope Gregory the Seventh, it's Roman numerals, banned a lay investiture. Holy Roman Emperor Henry the Fourth challenged him, and he was excommunicated as a result. So Henry traveled to Italy to beg the Pope for forgiveness. This showed the church's power. So next, England. Alfred the Great unified the Angles and the Saxons to repel Vikings. He made a kingdom called England. Edward the Confessor was the last of the Saxon kings. There is a competition for the throne between Harold Hardrada, who was the king of Denmark, Harold Godwinson of Wessex, which is the strongest Anglo-Saxon lord, and William the Bastard of Normandy, who was a cousin of Henry. Harold of Wessex defeated Harold Hardrada at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. William the Bastard defeated Harold of Wessex at the Battle of Hastings. William the Conqueror, that's his new name, took land from Anglo-Saxon barons and gave it to his Norman vassals. He centralized government in England. He used shire reeves to collect taxes and conducted the Domesday Book, which was like the first modern census. His son was Henry I. Henry I created Roman courts and departments of royal courts and the Department of Treasury. Henry II used traveling judges to enforce common law and began the use of the grand jury and trial by jury. He married Eleanor of Aquitaine, creating the Angevin Empire and centuries of land conflict. So his son, Richard the Lionheart, led the Third Crusade. John I, or John Lackland, lost French territory. Nobles rebelled and forced him to sign the Magna Carta, which gave a committee of nobles power of the church and said that the king was not above the law. Next is France. So Hugh Capet started the Capetian dynasty to replace the last Carolingian ruler. He only ruled around Paris. Philip II, or Augustus, tripled French lands and had bailiffs collect taxes. Louis the Ninth established royal courts to administer justice, banned noble warfare, and said only the monarch could mint coins. Germany. Otto I started the Ottonian dynasty. He was crowned Holy Roman Emperor by Pope John VII. After a while, Germany became fragmented, and because it was too diverse, too powerful, the nobles were too powerful, and they also had too many conflicts with the church. We can kind of see that later in the Reformation as well. Next was Spain. The Abbasid dynasty ruled at Al-Andalus. Taifas are small autonomous Muslim fiefdoms, or Muslim states. The The reconquest of Iberia from Muslims and the province of Asturias in the north was spread by the Sahel kingdom of Navarre and was continued by the kingdoms of Castile and Aragon. So, I hope this helped. Good luck!